Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to talk about something that should be on every fintech leader's radar. What happens when your customers stop typing and start talking? The rise of voice search is totally changing the game for SEO. And for fintech companies, it really is a case of adapt or get left behind. And look, this isn't some far-off futuristic question. It's happening right now. The shift from using your thumbs on a keyboard to just using your voice, it's happening in our homes, in our cars, on our phones. It is a massive change in behavior, and it completely redefines that very first moment a customer tries to find you. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big picture, the search revolution, and then really drill down into why this is such a big deal for fintech. After that, we'll get into the practical stuff, the solutions, covering everything from content to the technical side. And finally, we'll look ahead. Ready? Let's do it.
All right, so first things first, we have to get our heads around this. Voice search isn't just another new gadget or feature. Nope, it's a completely different way we talk to search engines. We're moving away from choppy keywords and into, well, actual conversations. I mean, think about it. This tech is already everywhere, right? Siri, Google, Alexa, they're in our phones, our kitchens, even our cars. And it's exploding for one super simple reason. Talking is just plain easier and faster than typing. And that demand for speed, for convenience, it's raising the bar for absolutely every digital experience, especially when it comes to money.
Okay, this slide right here, it perfectly sums up the whole challenge. The old way, we'd type like robots, right? FinTech small business loan. But now, the new way, we just ask, like we're talking to a friend. What is the best online bank for small businesses? This isn't a tiny tweak, folks. It means your entire SEO strategy has to learn a whole new language.
So how big of a deal is this for fintech, really? Well, the title here says it all. The stakes of silence. And that's exactly what we're talking about. If your brand doesn't show up when someone asks a question out loud, you're not just missing out on a trend. You're basically becoming invisible. The fallout here really hits you on three key fronts. First, there's your customers' behavior. They're already starting to expect they can manage their money with their voice. Second, it's about how your brand is perceived. If you don't have a voice strategy, you don't just seem inconvenient, you seem, well, old, outdated. And third, and this is a big one, it's about your competitors. The ones who get in early are already grabbing that super valuable tech-savvy slice of the market.
Yeah, just let that quote sink in for a second. Getting into voice search isn't just some clever marketing trick. It's a full-on branding play. It screams to the world that your company is an innovator, a leader, not just another follower in what is, let's be honest, a very crowded fintech space.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about the solution. Because the good news here is that you can prepare for this. This isn't an impossible mountain to climb. And it all starts with the stuff you're already creating, your content. So the fix really begins with a mindset shift. Stop thinking about keywords and start thinking about conversations. First, you gotta write your content in a way that sounds like an actual human talking. Second, you need to structure your web pages with super clear questions and short, direct answers. Make it dead simple for an AI to find the goods. And third, remember, most of these voice searches happen on a phone, so your site absolutely has to be fast and look great on a small screen. No excuses. But look, awesome content is only half the story. Think of it like a race car. You can have the best driver in the world, that's your content, but if the engine isn't tuned right, you're not going to win. That engine is your technical SEO. It has to be just as ready for these new kinds of questions. So, there are three technical pillars you absolutely cannot ignore. Pillar 1, speed. A voice search is an instant question, and it expects an instant answer. Slow won't cut it. Pillar 2, schema markup. Don't worry, we'll explain this more in a sec, but it's basically special code that helps search engines really understand your site. And Pillar 3, local SEO. This is so crucial for any of those near-me searches for a local branch or financial advisor. Okay, so what on earth is schema markup? The easiest way to think about it is like it's a set of labels for the search engine bots.
You're not changing how the page looks to a person at all. You're just adding some behind-the-scenes code that says, hey, Google, this number here, that's a service fee. Or this block of text, that's a customer review. It basically takes away all the guesswork for the AI so it can confidently grab the right piece of info and serve it up as a voice answer.
Now, it's really important to get this. Adopting to voice search is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of project. Not at all. It's a living, breathing strategy. To really stay ahead of the curve, you have to be constantly learning, constantly tweaking. And that's where AI and data become your best friends. You just can't guess what questions your customers are asking. I mean, you could try, but you'll probably be wrong. But AI-powered tools, they let you see the actual search patterns as they're happening, in real time. This isn't about pulling a report once a quarter. No way. It's about having your ear to the ground, constantly listening to how real people talk about money, and then tweaking your strategy to speak their language. At the end of the day, this whole thing is about so much more than just SEO rankings. When you embrace voice search, what you're really doing is aligning your entire business with where your customers are going. It's about meeting them where they are. And in a space as cutthroat as FinTech, being ahead of this curve, that's what's going to separate the true leaders from the ones who get left in the dust.
So that really brings us to the bottom line, doesn't it? As we dive deeper and deeper into this voice-first world, your customers are going to keep asking questions. They're not going to stop. So the most important thing you can take away from all this today is to ask yourself a very simple question. When they ask, will you have the answer? Because in this new world of search, being silent, well, that's just not an option anymore.